Hello everyone, this is the Hunter Collector here with another action figure review, and here we have the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man figure here. So first we're going to go over the box here. So starting off, we get a nice little display of Spidey with all of his accessories and the figure itself. Maximum Series logo here. Spider-Man, you get some comic panels in red and black. Marvel Legends logo there, Hasbro logo in the bottom right. And on the top, Maximum Series logo there, Spider-Man, Marvel Legends in the top left, and then more comic panels going on in the red and black. And then on the right side of the box, you get a cool picture of the Spidey figure upside down with him holding onto the web. Marvel's Maximum Series logo there, more comic panels, Marvel Legends logo there. And on the other side, we got another picture of Spidey there, and his crouched form in the comic panel frame, and then he has a blue background behind him. Marvel Legends logo there. In the back, we get a pretty cool picture of Spidey swinging, and him thwipping with his extra hands. Maximum Series in the background, more comic panels, Marvel Legends logo in the top left, and then in the bottom you get the UPC in case you guys want to take a look at that. But besides that, before we get him out here, if you guys enjoyed this video and want me to keep making these Marvel Legend videos or Hot Toys or whatever you would like, make sure you subscribe and push the bell notifications so that way you don't miss another review. But besides that, let's get the figure out and the accessories. So first, starting off, we're going to start with these accessories here. So I'm going to go with this little display base here first. So this is the base for you to plug in a certain accessory. It's just clear plastic with the circle, and you get a peg hole there, and then you just want to plug in this part right here into that, like so. And then it articulates, so it goes down that far, up the other way that far. You can get another one down on the top here. And then if you want, you can rotate it, but like I said, you don't have to really do that. You can just literally rotate it like that. So yeah, that's how you put the base together. And then we'll start with the web effects. So this is the piece where you would, I believe, have on there to make it look like it's kind of getting shot out. So it's just clear plastic with a little bit of white in there to give it that like detail, kind of make it look like it's webbing. You get some strands kind of hanging out there to make it look like it's stringy web. And then there should be, yeah, there's a little peg hole. It's very hard to see with it being clear plastic. It took me a second to find it, but there is a peg hole. It takes a second to find. So what you want to do is pop this on top of there, like that, and then that's what that's gonna look like. So that's how that works. And then you get a little web shield here with some holes coming out of there. It's supposed to look like a web. It's pretty cool, clear plastic with, you know, like I said, a little bit of white tint in there to give it that detail to make it look like it's actual webbing. And you get this little clip here, which you would have Spidey's wrist plugged into there. It does rotate, so that way, you know, if you want to just have it put away nicely or whatever. I don't know why they had it folded, but yeah. So there's the web shield, and then you get this little strand here, which is supposed to make it look like he's, I guess, webbing onto a enemy, possibly. Again, clear plastic. You get some strands going off on random directions. Even the middle strands kind of going off on its own way, like curved. Even the middle strand has some texturing. It's clear plastic, a little bit of tint. It's gonna be like that with all the webbing, pretty much. And then you get this little cone type of web piece here, which you could have attached to a wall or an enemy, like I said. So there's that. And you get two of these kind of like web swinging webs here, and they are very soft plastic, or I don't know if it's rubbery, but I definitely wouldn't like cause too much tension with them. But it's very soft and very flexible, unlike the ones that we've gotten from Marvel Legends. So you get some nice texturing here, clear plastic or rubber, whatever it is. You get a ball here at the end with some web swirled up there. And this is very random but very cool texturing going on here. And then you get this little strand here where it's kind of like it ends off there. And I'm pretty sure it's kind of the same deal with this one. It's not the exact same mold, it's a little different. The way I know is because, actually no, I lied. They might be a little different. I can't tell. If my camera can focus there. There we go. But yeah, I can't tell. I think they're different. This one's got a little bit of a thicker loop there, but yeah. Oh yeah, they're different. They're different. So I think one's longer than the other actually. Yeah, this one right here is longer for whatever reason. I don't know why. But yeah, you get one a little bit longer, the other one a little bit shorter. So yeah, that's it for the webbing. And then we'll go through the hands. So we get Peter's ungloved hands here with web shooters exposed. You get some gray here. See a little bit of marbling going on with the web shooter piece. You get a little trigger function there, and he's about to do this, but it's not quite close, so he's not activating it yet. It's pretty cool articulation, good paint job, don't see any mess ups, and you get a little peg there to plug it into Spidey's forearm. And then you get another one where it is him activating it, and it's his right hand. I do wish we got both hands like this instead of just, one and one. Maybe two would be nice. So yeah, same deal. I don't really see any paint mess-ups going on here. You get that trigger there again. Sculpt work is pretty damn good. So yeah, get to see all those joints and knuckles and fingernails there. So pretty cool. And then you get two wall crawling hands. They're both the same sculpt pretty much. The web lines look very crisp and clean. I don't really see any mess ups, and it's very thin webbing, like thin web lines unlike we've seen before. It's pretty damn clean. I don't see any mess ups on this so far. So that's the left hand. This is the right one. So yeah, it looks pretty damn clean. I think this figure goes for like $50, if I remember correctly. So they better make sure this stuff looks good to make it justifiable for $50, because I think they're trying to make it quality of like export figures. Then you get another hand, but it's thwipping, and you get webs attached to them. So this is his left one with some clear plastic coming through, a little bit of white tint to it to give it that web look effect, and it's attached to the hand. So definitely be careful with this one. It's exaggerated, so the wrist is bent on this. And then you can see the fingers kind of curled out a little bit more to give it that effect that he's actually like shooting it. Web lines look really good. So there's that. And then here's the other one where it kind of looks like it's more not so spread out. It's just one strand coming out of the wrist, and it's his right hand. So it's pretty cool. Clear plastic again. Starting to funnel out a little bit. Web lines look pretty clean besides that little bit there, but I'm not too worried about it. And then you get another pair of web hands without the webs attached. So I think they're different hand sculpts. These ones, are they? I think they're the same. think they're the same. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're the same hand sculpt, actually. One's just got webs attached to it and the other one doesn't. So that's a little weird, but, you know, not too picky about it. So at least for the left hand, it's the same. I could definitely tell that the right hand's different. But this one, the lines look very crisp and clean. No issues really with it. Let me get my camera in focus. But yeah, it looks pretty good. And then the other one, this one's not exaggerated. This one looks like he's about to actually make it activate, but it's not quite there. You get a little bit of like a wrinkling going on with the palms. Web lines look clean again. So yeah, this pinky's a little curled in more, so that's how I was able to kind of tell that it's different. But the other hand looks exactly the same compared to the ones with the web attached. And then you get like kind of gripping hands here for web gripping, so kind of curled in, you could fit the webbing through it. And yeah, so again, web lines look good. I like the red, cherry red. So yeah, I think they're the same sculpt for both sides, so it's not a big deal. You get 2 head sculpts, but one already is attached to Spidey, so I guess you technically get 3. So this one, you get Spidey kind of doing like a wink effect going on here. So this eye is a little more closed, whereas this one's a little more, you know, open. Web lines look clean. No mess ups so far from what I could see. So it looks pretty good. Especially near the center. They usually mess up on the center of the head sculpt. But for this figure, they don't. So I do like the paint job on this figure a lot. So one of their better figures for paint job wise. So there's that. And then you get an unmasked head sculpt of Peter Parker here. And it's him kind of like smirking or smiling. Get some brown eyebrows there. Some greenish brown eyes there. Some brown hair. Kind of wish that they did like a... I think they kind of did like a light brown or dark brown wash over this kind of more light brown hair. Kind of wish they went a little more black. But it's a pretty good head sculpt. Nothing to really complain about. It's pretty damn good. Looks accurate to Spider-Man. You get some curls at the front of the head. So, and it's all slicked back. So, and then you get a little bit of extra hair poking out at the ends, and at the back end of his head. So, yep. And then you get some Spidey sense effects to add onto it. So it's clear plastic. It's pretty hard plastic, so don't damage it. Try not to damage it. It's kind of like a neon or cherry red for the red parts to make it look like he's, you know, like I said, spider sense are going off. And what you want to do to put it on is, I'm pretty sure you just literally slide it on like that. It just kind of fits on there, so like such. So pretty easy to apply. You just literally slide it on, boom, and then you can pop it off. So yeah, that is the accessories for the figure. So let's get the figure out himself. And here is the Maximum Series Spider-Man out of the box. He looks pretty damn good. I like the figure a decent amount. I don't know if the $50 price range is quite justifiable, but I would say he's definitely would be more expensive compared to like regular figures. That I would definitely say. But $50 might be a little much. I don't know. I could kind of see why it could be justifiable, but maybe a little bit cheaper would be nice. But yeah, the figure looks pretty good out of the box. First hand impressions pretty good. So yeah, let's just start off with the figure. So first we're gonna go over the details with this guy. So you already have a head sculpt on there where it's just kind of like, you get that kind of like Todd McFarlane type of sculpt going on there with the wide eyes that go all the way down to pretty much his jawline. Close, getting close. You get thick frames for the lenses, white lenses. Web lines on the mask look very clean. There's a lot of webbing going on throughout this figure. and they all look pretty damn clean. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't really see any mess ups, and they're thin lines, so I'm very surprised that there's not really any mess ups as far as I could tell off rip. Like, I'm really looking, I can't see any like big issues with, at least paint job wise. Even the feet, like, I think the paint job, webline paint job and everything is pretty perfect. Like I said, it needs to be a well painted or a well figure to justify for that $50 range. So I do like the cherry red that they went with. You got that, I think it is Todd McFarlane Spider logo there in the black. You get a little bit of wrinkling going on there between the pecs there. You get some abs showing throughout the figure, some muscle sculpting going on there. Even the butterfly joints has some muscle going on also. The back, a little bit of wrinkling there as well between like the muscles of the back. A little bit there, a little bit here. Maybe a little bit down the bottom of the back. Some wrinkling in the butt area. Even more on the legs, which is pretty cool. The blue, I really like the blue that they chose for this guy. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like a dark ocean blue, or not quite navy blue. Feet look really good, like, and then he comes with fist hands already attached to him, so like the paint job looks really good on there. But yeah, that's really all I got for like detail wise. I mean, it's a well painted figure, and well sculpted. I really like the sculpt on this figure, so I don't have any complaints sculpt wise or paint job wise. So yeah, I mean, I really liked it. So let's go over the articulation. Actually, before we get into articulation, let me show you how to swap out the hands for like the the exposed hands. So what you want to do, there's like a little cut here at the forearm, you can see. What you want to do is kind of pull between here with my thumb and then that, and then the fist comes out like that, and then grab your, for my case, his left hand web shooter, and you just kind of want to pop it in like so. Might take a second sometimes. There we go. So there you go. You get him with the exposed web shooter in hand there. There's no articulation with them, so you can't bend it at all. There's nothing there. I do wish that they did that, but I understand why, because, you know, they want to make sure you get that little trigger sculpt in there. So yep, that's how you switch out those hands, at least. They're a little bit of a pain in the butt to get out, that's for sure. If you have a really hard time getting them out, you could heat the figure up with warm water. That could help. And then if you just want to swap just the regular hands, you can just pop it out like that with any other Marvel Legend figure. And swap it with, if I can find it. There we go. And then you just pop it on like that. But yeah, and then the head sculpt, you can literally just, it's like any other figure, but it's a little different because they add a little something new for the neck. But yeah, you can see that there, and then you can pop on Peter's head, but I'm not going to do that. Well, screw it, might as well, let's do it. So yep, that's how you put it on there, and it looks pretty good actually. So I like how the Peter head sculpt fits well with this figure. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. So now we'll go over the articulation. So as you saw, it's a disc ball jointed head. So from there, the head can move up pretty far up like that. And then it can look down just a little bit. But it's got a new thing where there's a thing of ball joint at the bottom of the base of the neck. So with all of this going on here, you can have him actually looking down like that. And you can have him looking up even farther up a little bit. And then you can have him look left and right. I mean, you can do a 360 if you want. And then there's a lot of head pivoting with the neck included now. And the neck does rotate as well. Shoulders move up that far, so about 90 degrees. Down that far, does a 360 rotation. There's butterfly joints that go back that far, forward that far. You get bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, which are pinless. The forearms do rotate because, like I said, that's how you attach the exposed hand. Wrists can hinge up that far and down that far, and they do rotate. You get a ball joint at the diaphragm, so with that, just goes forward that much, backwards a little bit, but then you get a little bit of blue exposed here where the hole is for that two balls in the diaphragm. You do get a decent amount of pivoting in that spot, and then you can do some twisting there. And then you get like a crunch down at the hips. So with that and the diaphragm joint, you can have them crouched, bend forward that much, bend backwards that much. He does have drop down hips, so you can have him kick forward a little past 90 degrees, backwards that far. You can have him kick out to the side pretty close to 90 degrees, but not quite. You get thigh cut, double jointed knees, which are also pinless, which I have a hard time bending it. There we go. It's a little stiff right now, but that's how far it goes. And then you get a boot cut, and then you get ankles hinged down that far, up that far, good ankle pivot, and you get toe articulation as well that go up that far and just go straight to flat. So yeah, that is the Marvel Legends Maximum Series Spider-Man figure for you. I definitely see why they raised the price to $50 on this guy. Depending on if it's like a limited thing. I don't know if it is. And he does come with a decent amount of accessories. I just wish that they came with just a little bit more to kind of make it more justifiable that it's that expensive. Like I said, I wish that they gave us a exposed hand where it's like fully activated, you know, fully thwipped hand. And then that's really, I mean, that's my only critique so far with this figure. They didn't really introduce anything new besides that, you know, the neck joint at the base of the neck. And then I guess the webbing where it's very flexible, that helps because then you can have them kind of hanging from there if you want. I do like the fact that there's webs attached to the thwipping hands. That's pretty cool to give it that effect that he's literally just shooting the web out at that very moment. I don't know. I do like the spider sense thing. It's pretty cool. But I don't know. I don't know if it's justifiable for $50 or not. I would say $50 for like, I'd say maybe $60 for that Hulk figure. I could see it being $60. I don't know how much it actually is. I haven't looked, but I do plan on getting it. And if you guys want to watch that video, just make sure you guys subscribe and keep your bell notifications on. But yeah, I mean, this figure is pretty cool. I mean, they did a really good job with the paint and sculpt. Articulation, I think, is, I mean, it's a good Spider-Man figure, and articulation-wise, it's pretty damn good. I don't know if it's like better than like regular Spider-Man figures. Like I said, the only thing that they introduced that is new and helps with the articulation, I would say, is that neck base joint. If you're gonna have him do a wall crawling pose, he can actually look up. But besides that, I mean, that's the only thing that's pretty new with, you know, body sculpt or articulation type of thing. But I mean, I don't know. It's kind of up to you guys. I can't necessarily, like, I do like this figure. I would say if you're big into, like, collecting Spider-Man figures and you are okay with having, like, more details over articulation, I'd say go ahead and get this guy. I think he looks badass. You get him some cool display poses with the amount of accessories that he has, and you know, the additional articulation that was new to this guy. But I mean, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell if it's justifiable for $50. So yeah, that's really all I got for this figure. So yeah, if like I said before, I plan on doing more of these Maximum series or more Marvel Legend figure reviews. But besides that, that's all I got. See you in the next one.